This is the day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything, and Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate to get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple has been very fortunate. It has been able to introduce a few of these things into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry. In 2001, we introduced the first iPod, and it didn't just change the music industry. It didn't just change the way we all listen to music. It changed the entire music industry. Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one, a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone, and the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, an iPhone, a breakthrough internet communicator, an iPod, an iPhone. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device, and we're calling it the iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone, and here it is. No, actually, here it is, but we're gonna leave it up there for now. So before we get into it, let's talk about a category of things. The most advanced phones are called smartphones, so they say, and they typically combine a phone plus some email capability, plus they say it's internet. It's sort of a baby internet into one device, and they all have these little plastic keyboards on them. And the problem is that they're not so smart and they're not so easy to use. And so if you kind of make a business 101 graph of the smart axis and the easy to use axis, regular cell phones are right there. They're not so smart and they're not so easy to use. But smartphones are definitely a little smarter, but they actually are harder to use. They're really complicated. Just for the basic stuff, people have a hard time trying to figure out how to use them. Well, we don't want to do any of these things. What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been and super easy to use. This is what iPhone is. So, we are going to reinvent the phone. Now, we're going to start with the revolutionary user interface. It's the result of years of research and development, and of course, it's an interplay of hardware and software. Now, why do we need a revolutionary user interface? Here's four smartphones, right? The Motorola Q, the BlackBerry, the Palm Trio, and the Nokia E62. The usual suspects. And what's wrong with their user interface? Well, the problem with them is really sort of in the bottom 40 there. It's this stuff right there. They all have these keyboards that are there whether you need them or not. And they all have these control buttons that are fixed in plastic and are the same for every application. Well, every application wants a slightly different user interface and a slightly optimized set of buttons just for it. And what happens if you think of a great idea 6 months from now? You can't run around and add buttons to these things. They're already shipped. So what do? It doesn't work because the buttons and controls can't change. They can't change for each application, and they can't change down the road if you think of another great idea you want to add to this product. Well, how do you solve this? It turns out we already solved it. We solved it in computers 20 years ago. We solved it with a bit-mapped screen that can display anything we want. Put any user interface up and a pointing device. We solved it with a mouse. We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? What we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate this?